Now, when Terry first told me about this, the introduction stated that Dennis and I love to share an off-color joke or an off-color cartoon. But in deference to my wife, the clergy that's in attendance, and all my patients that know what I'm really like, I will guarantee you that all the words I use today are in the Bible. Fornication. Excuse me. For an occasion such as this, we could boast Dennis, we could toast Dennis, but I'm going to thoroughly roast Dennis. One of the problems that Dennis has had in his last few years is his memory. Now, when Terry asked me to do this, I asked Dennis, tell me a little bit about your years before I got to know you. When was it that you first came to HMG? He says, I don't know, 3 years, 4 years, 6 years, I don't know. He really couldn't tell me. And then he told me a story which really proved this point. He was telling me about a restaurant that he and his wife had gone to the last week, but he couldn't remember the name. He says, you know, it's that one down in Canton someplace. I forgot the name. It's the name of a cloth. And I said, well, is it cotton? No. Is it wool? Something to do with wool? No. He says, it's the thing that bathrobes are made of. I said, silk? Is there a new Chinese restaurant so something? No. No, it's that stuff that bathrobes and towels are made of. And I said, oh, terry cloth? He said, yeah, Terry. What was the name of that restaurant we went to last week? And then Dennis told me about his military service, how he originally wanted to be an engineer. And he found out he was going to North Africa. He said, hey, great, they're still building their pyramids. Maybe I can get a job there after I'm finished with the military. But instead, they made him a medic. And he said, okay, now that I'm here, I can take care of boils and hives and blood and frogs and all the other plagues. And if you don't understand that one, read your Bible. But when I asked Dennis what he's going to do when he retires, he says, I'm going to spend time with Chase, teaching him how to fish. Chase, you still here?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he told me about the time he took Chase ice fishing. So they went out in the middle of this lake, and they drilled this really deep hole. But this voice came down from above, said, there are no fish down there. So Dennis kind of looked around, moved over a couple of yards, drilled another hole. Voice came, there are no fish down there. Now Dennis, being the pious man that he is, says, God, is that you telling me something? He says, no, this is the ice skating rink manager. Get the hell off my ice. But patients really love Dennis. Now, I know there are a lot of Dennis's patients here. I can't talk about them specifically because of the HIPAA and patient confidentiality stuff. But I'll tell you one story about Dennis's bedside manner. He was seeing this middle-aged man, and I say middle-aged because when you're as old as Dennis, there's no such thing as old man. But seeing this middle-aged man and started telling him that, I'm sorry, sir, but you have just 10 left to live. And the man interrupted him, 10 what? 10 months, 10 weeks, 10 years? Dennis goes, 10, 9, 8, 7. And you've also heard mention of one of Dennis's mentors, Dr. Arnold Koff. Is Arnie here today?
No, he's at a cardiology conference.
Well, Dennis learned a lot from Dr. Koff, and not a day goes by when Dennis doesn't bring up his name. Every time he says, okay, sir, now turn your head. Now, Dennis exercises a lot. He spins a few times a week. I know his spinning gang is here. Let's hear the bells. But in spite of his spinning and all the exercise, Dennis is, how can we say, sometimes circumferentially gifted. You know, when he plays Santa, all he needs is a suit because he already has the beard and the bowl full of jelly. So anyway, one day Dennis came to me and asked for a new diet. And I gave him one of the diet plans that have worked for some of my patients. I said, what you have to do is eat normally for 2 days and then skip a day. Then eat normally for 2 days, then skip a day, and you'll lose a lot of weight this way. So he came back to me 2 weeks later and says, you know, Spencer, I lost over 20 pounds doing this, but the diet almost killed me. And I asked him why. Were you really hungry? He says, no. The eating 2 days was great, no problem. But then skipping for a whole day really tired me out. So I was talking to Chase before the dinner tonight. Right, Chase? Did I talk to you? Yeah. And I said, you know, Dennis loves teaching Chase new things. So I asked him, Chase, what did Grandpa Dennis, or Poppy, teach you? He said, Grandpa taught me how to count. So I said, really? Let me hear you count. So Chase goes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I said, well, can you keep going? He says, sure. Jack, Queen, King, Ace. So Dennis, unfortunately, you're getting older. But there are some advantages to getting older because, for example, your secrets are safe with everyone because your friends can't remember them either. And your investment in all the health insurance is finally paying off. And your supply of brain cells is finally down to a manageable size. Now, I was in Dennis's office the other day, and he offered me a bowl of peanuts. He said, here, Spencer, have some peanuts. I asked where he got them. He said a patient gave them to me. So I asked, well, why aren't you eating them? He says, well, my doctor told me I shouldn't because, you know, the peanuts get caught in my dentures, and they're not really good for my diverticulitis. So I just suck off the chocolate and give the peanuts away. So today we want to thank Dennis for his many years of service to Avon Medical Group and Hartford Medical Group and the Farmington Valley community and his country. Dennis is someone who doesn't know the meaning of an impossible task. He doesn't understand the meaning of the word no. He does not know how to say I can't or I won't. So we have all pitched in and bought him a dictionary so we can learn the meanings of these words. Dennis, we're going to miss you. It's been an honor and a pleasure working with you. And always remember that the best things in life are free, and that's why we had to pay $50 for this dinner.